Well, today we're speaking to Rhonda Hill, who is a social worker with the New Orleans Police Department's 7th District. And we're thrilled that as part of our National Crime Victims' Rights Week, we were able to bring this invaluable resource to you. So Rhonda, tell us about your position at NOPD.
So yes, I'm a social worker in the 7th District with the New Orleans Police Department. The purpose of the social workers in the district is to be there to provide support to victims at the earliest onset of victimization, so that they have more access, better access to us. Basically, we identify victims who have been a victim of a crime, and we usually do that through our what we call the major offense log. Each morning, I am sent a major offense log for crimes that have been documented the evening before through the morning of, and I reach out to those victims and do a needs assessment and just find out what their needs are, even if those needs are something that's beyond the criminal justice process. We try to do a holistic approach with making sure that the victim needs are serviced through the criminal justice process, as well as some social services needs that may be in place.
And just give me an example of some of the social services needs that y'all might be able to address.
Well, we do partner with such as agencies and organizations as yourself. We do have partnering agencies that we do reach out to get the victims connected to, get them linked to different resources, such as if they feel like they need or want counseling due to the incident. There's an agency that we partner with that provide that service. We are the link between them and their investigating detectives. We help facilitate communication with him or her if they are unable to, for whatever reason, to get in touch with that detective. We help facilitate that communication. We also, along with Captain Minto from the New Orleans Sheriff's Office, Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office rather, help them complete crime victims reparations applications to receive funding for funeral or burial expenses, if it's a family of a homicide victim, if it's the actual victim, if they've been a victim of an armed robbery, a shooting, a aggravated battery, whatever the crime is. We just help them secure funds for various things, such as maybe relocation, if they are feeling unsafe because of the incident, if they need counseling and don't have the means to provide to get that service. We help them with that. Just whatever it is that they need, whatever the needs assessment determine, we just help get them linked to resources in the community that can address that need for them.
I think one key factor, because I know this is what we hear back from people's calls all the time, is I never hear from the detective, but you're here as that liaison. You're here to help make those connections.
Yes, and even though the detectives are quite busy, unfortunately, they usually are really good with responding to my request when I've spoken with the victim and say, hey, this victim would like an update on their case, because I don't have that information. I'm again mostly focused on satisfying the social services needs that they may be in need of. So, but they are really responsive. From the homicide detectives to the detectives of property and persons crimes in the 7th District as well. They are very responsive once I reach out to them and say the victim would love to, to get an update on their case from you.
As we are in the middle of the National Crime Victims' Rights Week, what would be your message to a victim, to make sure that they're comfortable and let them know how they should be reaching out to you guys?
Well, again, I am located at the 7th District Police Station, and although we still under some COVID-19 restriction guidelines, the station is still not open per se. Mm-hmm. However, they can reach out to me via phone, which is area code 504-658-6575. That's the number directly to my office, to my desk phone, or by email, which is rhill@nola.gov, RHILL@NOLA.gov. But even if even though we're closed, if they make arrangements with me prior to, I can accommodate them if they need to come to the station to drop off paperwork, for instance, or pick up paperwork. I just had a family come to the office this week to complete a crime victim reparations application so that they can secure a date to have funeral and burial services for their loved one. And it was a fairly quick process. Came, filled out the application, brought the supporting documentation that's needed to send with the application, and I was able to get that over to Captain Minto to help that family. So there are provisions outside of just the phone and virtual that I can accommodate the victims if need be.
In the Crime Reparations Act, those funds, how quickly can they actually receive the funding once they've done that application with you guys?
Usually they apply for what's called an emergency award,
okay,
and that's up to $500, and that usually comes within a week or so of first submitting the application. The total award is up to $5,000, so the additional $4,500 will come sometime later, unfortunately. And just to be transparent, that is upwards of a year or more sometimes, actually, just because of the funding sources. You know, it's the funding is just not always there. And then it's a variety of victims that pool from that same fund.
Right.
It's not just for homicide victims' families to assist with funeral and burial costs. Victims of sexual assault can apply for different services. Again, if you've been robbed, if you've been shot, you know, just whatever victim you've been, whatever crime you've been a victim of, you have access to that fund to provide for some services that you may not be able to afford on your own. So that's generally the amount and the time frame of receiving those funds.
Well, I really appreciate you explaining that. And again, if you're watching these videos, I mean, please take advantage of these fund opportunities and the assistance opportunities, because, you know, a burial can be so expensive. And though we know there's funeral parlors that do work with victims' families and work with the different agencies, but again, this is here for you. So thank you so much for being part of this today. You are doing amazing work. Keep it up. We need you. And anybody, she gave out her information. You know, if you need assistance, particularly in the 7th District, you have the lady to call. So thanks again.
Thank you for having me. And I enjoy what I do, and I hope to continue to do it for quite some time. So thank you.
Well, we hope so too.
Yes, ma'am.